What is going on, guys? Back with another video, another tier list, which I've been dying to do. Another one after my first one, which was on a mix of different crypto projects. I thought today, let's focus on crypto narratives, and in particular, the narratives which I think can get the most hype and adoption going into this bull run, guys. So, again, guys, this isn't going to be anything on returns, 10x, 20x, 30x. This is just going to focus on hype and how much adoption each narrative can get, guys. Now, I think I've covered pretty much the main ones here, guys. We've got around, I think there's around 20 here. Um, so yeah, guys, I'm not going to go fully in depth into what each narrative is. I'm just going to give you a brief overview and also where I think the hype factor is, guys. So as you can see, we have the S tier, we have the A tier, the B tier, the C tier, and also the D tier, guys. So let's get into it, guys. So first up, we have layer ones. Now, layer ones are always produce a lot of hype. They pretty much always spearhead the crypto narrative. We saw Ethereum, we've seen Solana, we've seen AVAX, we've seen all these new alternative layer ones which have been founded. And there's a huge list of layer ones, guys. And in terms of investment choice, it's normally on the top of people's agenda, guys. There's Ethereum, Binance, Solana, Cardano, AVAX. You've got coins such as HBAR, Casper, Algorand. Huge list. And again, guys, this is a topic which I think is always going to be at the top. So this is going to go into the S tier, guys. It always does well, and I believe it's going to continue to do well. Next, we have DeFi, decentralized finance, which was probably one of the biggest gainers in the 21 bull run. Hasn't really seen as much hype going into this run. Um, so I'm going to put it in the C tier. But again, guys, this could pop at any time. This could go at any time. Again, guys, this is just my opinion on hype, what I think has the most hype. Real world assets, really bullish on this narrative, guys. A lot of projects are developing, offering real properties, different use cases, and gaining a lot of adoption. Only main concern with these projects is legislation and, the projects getting the right documents in place, because if they're going to offer sort of investment properties, all that sort of thing, they do need to gain those documents and legislation. But I do think this has huge potential. I'm going to put it in the B tier. I think if it was to gain more legislation, but I think that is likely going to be in different bull runs, guys. I don't think it's going to be the main narrative in this bull run, but I think it's going to do well. And it still really hasn't gone crazy yet. So there's still time, in my opinion. Next, we have DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure networks, which has sort of been sort of a new topic which has been gaining a lot of hype. In terms of where I think it lists on here, it's hard to say, guys. Again, this is related to the real world assets narrative. It's helping to build the infrastructure across different areas, the networks, the storage, the transportation, and the energy within these different networks. So, again, it's hard to pin this down, but because of the real world assets narrative legislation, I'm also going to put this in the B tier. But again, guys, I don't think it's going to be the most hyped narrative, but I think it's going to do well. Meme coins, guys, they're going crazy. It is normal to see these coins literally 10x in a week, 20x in a month. They're going crazy. Pepe's going crazy. Shiba's been doing well. Bonk's been doing well. Some of the low cap meme coins have also been flying. And again, guys, this is just one of those narratives which just brings in millions of people into the market. Even though it's not my favorite narrative in terms of utility, guys, it doesn't have utility. It is all about hype. But you cannot argue with this going into S tier for hype, guys. This is, probably even more bullish than layer ones in terms of bringing in huge adoption. People who come in. We saw what happened with Dogecoin with Elon Musk. Literally, he can literally just cause this meme season to come, which is already happening right now. But I think it has a huge way to go still. Storage, guys, seems to be quite boring to a lot of people. But for me, guys, if you watch my channel, I am bullish on storage. I'm bullish on utility plays, utility projects. We've got Filecoin, we've got Arweave, we've also got Cross Network, guys. Very important, guys, in terms of owning your data, keeping your files safe and not on a centralized source. So for me, this has huge utility, and I do think this has huge growth. So again, not as hot as meme coins, not as hot as layer ones, but for me, this is gonna go into the B tier because I think people will soon see just how big the use case is for storage. We're seeing Arweave pump quite a bit now, and I do think storage will have a great rally. Next, we have Gamblefy, gambling coins. Again, guys, I'm not the biggest fan of this. I think it can be dangerous for a lot of people. So I don't really like this sort of narrative. But it's always gonna have a play, guys. This is in any sort of industry, any sector, this is big. And I think it is probably gonna gain a similar narrative in crypto. Again, legislation's important here, guys, with a lot of new rules coming around gambling and stuff. So in my opinion, it is quite risky. I'm gonna put it in the C tier. But it could do well, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. Layer twos, obviously we've got Polygon, which I like to call the king of the layer twos. We've also got the other ones such as Arbitrum, which has done pretty well. In terms of hype, guys, I don't think layer twos are a narrative which is gonna bring in millions of people. Normally, people just go straight for the layer ones. So even though I hold some layer twos, I have to put it in the C tier for hype, in my opinion. It could do well, guys. Obviously, with Ethereum's gas fees going off the roof, projects like Polygon and Arbitrum have quite a big use case. They also have ecosystems which are being built, a lot of gaming projects being built using Polygon. And yeah, I do think it can continue to do well. But again, guys, I don't think it has the same hype as these two at the top layer ones and memes currently. We've got some undervalued narratives in here as well, guys. Music. Now, music hasn't really moved. It's not a topic which people talk about a lot when it comes to crypto. But again, guys, I think in terms of making gains, you don't make those crazy returns when you're buying projects when the narrative's already been. So in terms of current hype, this is probably going to be in, I would say, D/C tier. But again, guys, this doesn't mean how bullish I am on the project. This is just for hype. I'm going to put it in the D tier, but you could potentially see this as an opportunity to research music projects. A lot of these big music agencies and platforms are currently not supporting the artists as much as they could. Some of the artists and musicians, they aren't as happy as it could be. This is where Web3 can come in with music and improve it and give people a fairer return, the artists who work hard to produce music. So I am going to be researching more into music. This is current hype, guys, as of today. That's where I would put it today. Next, we have SocialFi. Again, another narrative which hasn't really taken off yet. Could see it as an opportunity. Obviously, not as hype driven as the main S tier ones, such as meme and layer ones. But guys, this is developing. There's quite a few projects which are making their own platform. I think there's DSO, I think it's called, Decentralized Social. I'm going to put this in the C tier, but this has, just like music, this has a lot of potential to push up into the higher tiers, guys. I would pay attention to these because they still haven't really pumped. So that's SocialFi. NFTs, again, another narrative which is sleeping, not as hot as it was. And again, guys, my take on this is once we see the peak of the bull run, a lot of times people look at other sources, they look at NFTs, they want to purchase NFTs. This is where infrastructure for NFTs comes into play. The bridges, the cross-chain swaps, all the software which is used to streamline NFTs. Um, I made a video on XPNet, which is a cross-chain bridge for NFTs, which you can swap with different chains. Currently, NFTs are C tier in terms of hype, guys. Please remember this is hype only currently. But just like music and SocialFi, I expect this to pump as the bull run progresses. BRC20, another narrative which we saw pretty recently, had quite a lot of hype, guys. We saw projects such as Ordinals, we saw some of the low caps in BRC20 do well. Again, guys, Bitcoin is obviously the king of crypto. It is always going to be the king. I do think this does come with certain risks to it in terms of investing in these projects, but I do think this ecosystem can continue to grow, and I'm going to put this in the B category for now. Yeah, guys, but again, it's not a narrative which is going to draw millions of people in my opinion, but promising narrative. I think it has huge developments in it to improve further. Next, guys, another sort of under the radar narrative, sports. Sports again is mainly fan tokens. We saw sort of Chili's, we've seen your different favorite football teams offer fan tokens. Doesn't seem to have much of a utility case as of today, but I do think it has potential to grow. I'm going to put it again, guys. I'm going to put it in the D narrative for hype. Please remember, guys, hype, because I think it can be improved a lot, guys. But as I've said before, this is where you want to speculate into if you think a narrative can do well when no one is looking at it, guys. That has been my strategy throughout crypto. You do the opposite of what everyone's doing. When everyone's hyping up a narrative, and when you look at the fear and greed index, when the greed is off the scale, you know that the hype is at the peak. So again, sports has a big use case, guys. Sports, fan tokens, possibly offering NFTs within sports is really big, and it's a good way to get the fans involved, in my opinion. So yeah, guys, we have one of the king narratives in crypto, one of my favorite narratives, which I think is going to be one of the most hyped narratives. It's going to bring in huge amounts of people into the market. Gaming, guys, this is going straight into S tier. I would put this ahead of meme coins, in my opinion, because it actually has utility, guys. This brings the play to earn aspect into it, which is what you want, guys. You don't want something which has no utility. We've seen how huge certain gaming projects, Axie Infinity, Decentraland, Sandbox, and now we're seeing projects such as G-File, we're seeing Myria, we're seeing some of the low caps which have done insane, the AVAX gaming plays, the Solana ones, the Polygon ones, a lot of hype and a lot of potential, guys. So for me, I would be looking at the lower caps gaming plays, which have got huge potential. Next, supply chain. Another sort of people don't really get excited by supply chain, but I think it has a huge utility case. Obviously, we've got VeChain, we've got a few smaller caps in there as well. Again, guys, this they have in terms of VeChain, which are obviously the king of the supply chain. They've got huge partnerships. Um, I do think this is a narrative which can do really well. People are sleeping on it right now, but companies, industries, organizations are not. They know full well how useful supply chain, the blockchain technology can be within the supply chain, tracking food products, luxury goods, car, it can be used in car manufacturing. It has huge use case. I'm putting this in the B tier because VeChain has been pumping and I think this can continue to grow. Um, but yeah, guys, obviously not the most hyped currently. Next, we have insurance, guys, which is again a very under the radar narrative. And obviously, people are quite sort of cautious with this narrative because of sort of legislation, and there's not a lot of security within crypto, which is understandable. So people naturally don't really want to invest in insurance projects. Um I do think it has a use case if sort of some legislation comes in place and they get audited, then this can move. But I think currently this is D tier. But again, guys, it has potential. Very risky, but it does have a use case for securing your crypto, offering just like you would insure your car, just like you'd insure your home. Crypto is very valuable. Actually, guys, you know what? I'm going to move this to C tier because the utility is definitely there. You want your crypto to be safeguarded, and I do think with the right project coming into the space, this can be achieved. Next, we have privacy, guys. I'm not the most bullish on privacy due to sort of government regulation, legislation. It's going to become very difficult to invest in privacy projects, in my opinion. I'm going to put it in the D tier. Obviously, we saw uh, Monero, which is sort of the king of the privacy coins. But again, guys, if you know just how tough government regulation can come in, it's a pretty big risk in my opinion. And I think there's better narratives out there. Metaverse, guys, we saw this narrative kick off when Facebook changed its name to Meta, and it comprises of a variety of different sort of niches. You could say this has got the gaming aspect to it. It also has a bit of AI in it as well. Um, hype is sort of faded down after the Facebook rebrand happened. But I do think this has potential, guys. Has a lot of similarity to gaming projects such as Sandbox, such as Axie Infinity. You've also got Engine Coin as well, and you've also got your lower caps as well. So I do think Metaverse, which is obviously similar to gaming, will have, well, it already does get a lot of hype, and I think it can continue to grow. But naturally, people are probably going to focus on gaming and also AI, which I'm coming to next, which is also going straight to S tier in terms of hype, guys. I think pretty much these 4 narratives are gonna be literally pushing the bull run, the 2024, 2025 bull run, guys. You've seen what AI done already, and I think we're only getting started. A lot of bullish projects in this space, which are developing with a lot of organizations. A lot of companies are working with a lot of AI projects. So that is going straight in the S tier. And next, guys, we have another under the radar narrative, decentralized science, which is really interesting because I feel like this could have a lot of use case within sort of clinical trials, records, but obviously with medical records, all that sort of thing is again a lot of regulation needs to come into play. So currently quite risky. There's some pretty cool projects though. So I'm going to put this in, it's either C or D tier. I'm going to put it in C tier because I do think there's a sort of a wide use case for science projects. It doesn't just need to be for the medical industry. It can be for sort of, personal health. It could be for keeping fitness. So yeah, guys. So yeah, that is my narrative, my tier list for crypto narratives, guys. Again, based on hype only. So please, if you see, for example, if you like music projects or sports projects and you see this in the D tier, this is the current hype, in my opinion. When you see something in the D tier, and I think music and sports has a huge use case. So you could see that as an opportunity. Again, guys, obviously not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to sort of picture which narratives are at the top. And I think majority of people are going to agree with gaming, meme, AI, and layer ones being towards the top. Maybe you think layer twos should be higher up. Again, guys, I do like layer twos. I just think it's not something which draws people in. Real world assets as well, which I think has a huge use case. BRC20 as well, which if it continues to develop, could really pump. Potentially could go into S tier if it develops. So yeah, guys, please let me know your thoughts. And yeah, what would you do differently? Where would you put each narrative? And also let me know if I missed any narratives. Obviously, guys, there's hundreds of narratives. We've obviously got the new ERC 404 narrative, which kicked off. I didn't put that in just because I didn't want to make this video too long. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and drop a comment with your opinions. I always appreciate seeing your opinions in the comments. So thanks, guys, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks. Take care.